Aloha kākou. My name is Ilima Long. My kupuna come from Maui and Hawaii. I'm a graduate student at UH Manoa, and I live in Makiki, and I have a 2-year-old daughter, and I'm Kanaka Maui. The PLDC is the systematic erosion of the protection of Hawaiian national land. I'm here to state my opposition to the Public Lands Development Corporation. I know that perhaps the intention of this meeting is to get public input about administrative rules, which many, including the Office of Hawaiian Affairs, have already pointed out, gives frightening power to this corporation by way of exempting the PLDC from the usual procedures that are in place to enforce the fiduciary duty of the state, and the PLDC is the state, to hold these lands in trust for Native Hawaiians and the public. They've also pointed out how the legislation provides for exemptions from a huge array of other standard development processes and procedures that allow the public time to speak in opposition to projects they feel will have a negative impact on their community. This is a lot of power given to a few people, all of whom assume their position in the PLDC via appointment, an insulated concentration of power over our public lands. But the power that the PLDC has and desires to bypass process, procedures, and regulations that are standard for development projects is for this Hawaiian woman besides the point. I strongly encourage those in the PLDC who have not already done so, and I know Anakala Ailaw has, to do your homework and learn your history. These are stolen Hawaiian kingdom, crown, and government lands, whose title has never legally been transferred over to you. Luckily, these lands have been to various degrees protected by whatever the current law of the time is, including Hawaii state law right now. And to reiterate, the PLDC is the systematic erosion of this protection of Hawaiian national land. This is not about financing the DLNR. If you want money for the DLNR, start charging the damn telescopes that are on top of Mauna Kea that are ruining and destroying the physical and spiritual environment on that mountaintop. This is about good old-fashioned capital interest in protected Hawaiian lands. This is nothing but the newest attempt to break down the protective barriers and cash in on these Hawaiian Kingdom Crown government lands. If you are interested in utilizing so-called public lands for the good of the public, support people in communities who are already working so hard on Hawaiian-centered land management projects that aim to ease the health and financial burdens that this overdeveloped capitalist playground called the state of Hawaii has burdened our people with. Look at things like Ka'ala Farms, Ma'o Farms, the Ho'olu'aina project in KKD, who the DLNR has a positive relationship with. Paepaiohe'eia. There's lots of Hawaiian land management programs that are happening right now that are truly to benefit the public. I urge the PLDC to understand that these are Hawaiian national lands and that there is a strong consciousness all throughout Hawaii amongst Hawaiians and non-Hawaiians alike that you can expect to have to confront every step of the way with any efforts to develop our lands. I urge William Ailaw to please take leadership on this issue. Please show strong Hawaiian leadership, and if you're not going to oppose the PLDC altogether, please fight to protect our lands from any sort of capital development that is going to take away our ability to access these in positive ways in the future. And I urge the public who evinces all consciousness that has ever moved to keep corporate and state abuses of power in check in Hawaii, to oppose the PLDC altogether and unite to repeal Act 55.